Hello, my name's Andy Driver, Operations Manager at Grads and Games and Head of Graduate Recruitment at Aardvark Swift. And today, we're going to be discussing the key features of a 3D artist portfolio. As an artist, your portfolio can be more important than your CV for many studios. This is something especially important for graduates, as you will have little in the way of actual work experience in a studio. So the portfolio needs to speak for itself. A well thought out and presented portfolio will open doors. However, on the flip side, a poorly constructed and presented portfolio can close them very quickly. The reality is that hiring managers and recruiters may only initially look at your portfolio for 20 to 30 seconds. If it doesn't engage them in this time, they'll move on to the next person. So you can't afford to get this wrong. One of the first points I'll make may seem like an obvious one, but you'll be surprised just how many people get this wrong. I'm talking about accessibility. Quite simply, this means that you need to make sure you get the basics right so people can access your portfolio. Make sure the URL and the link work and they aren't broken. Make sure that link is personalised and not too long, and make sure you make it easy to find on your CV. Avoid any sites that will place too many adverts over your portfolio, and never ever password protect your portfolio. All of these things may seem really obvious, but they all represent barriers that will stop a hiring manager from looking at your work. And if they can't look at your work, your chances of an interview are slim. When it comes to hosting the portfolio itself, the best option you have is to use ArtStation. You could create a website from scratch, or use websites like WordPress or Wix that have preset templates, but to be honest, this is just more work than you need to do. ArtStation is the current industry standard and is used by professional artists, so it should really be where you host your work to. One golden rule to remember when building your portfolio is that it should always be quality over quantity. One of the things many students and graduates are guilty of doing is believing that they need to include everything they have ever done on their portfolio. Sometimes through fear that their portfolio may seem bare if they don't have multiple pieces presented. However, this is simply not the case. Your artwork should reflect your current skills, not where your skills were 2 or 3 years ago. There is a very strong chance that over the past 2 or 3 years, you've continued to develop and improve your practice, meaning that the work you did then is just not of the same quality of what you can produce now. So don't include it. What this means is that your portfolio should be an evolving presentation of your work, continuously being added to and altered to reflect where you are in your journey. It's definitely not static. A common misconception is that if you are the best in your class, you'll automatically be hireable once you graduate. I'm afraid to say that's not always true. Don't fall down the trap of comparing yourself to your classmates around you. Look at the artists who are currently working in the jobs that you want to work in. If you can see a big difference in the quality of their work compared to yours, then you'll know that you have some work to do. Variety is also an important factor to consider when it comes to selecting the pieces for your portfolio. As we have already highlighted in our previous video, while there are many different types of 3D artists in a game studio, and you may have a speciality that you want to pursue, for the majority of graduate roles, you'll be hired as more of a generalist. This means that you need to show that you have a variety of skills in your locker when presenting your work. A portfolio which is full of some really high quality hard surface pieces like cars or spaceships is great if the studio has lots of this work. However, if this is not a big piece of the work they do, or they just don't need somebody to specialise in that, then your portfolio isn't showing them that you're adaptable and can do the job that they need somebody to do. Best practice would be to provide a mix of pieces: characters, props, hard surface, textures. This will ensure you are not limiting your options. As we know, studios are most impressed by people who can show that they have experience making art for games. So your portfolio should be tailored towards this. Your art needs to look at home in a game. This means that you need to highlight both your artistic ability and your modelling ability. Demonstrating technical ability is very important. When actually making games, a super high resolution model needs to be reduced before it can be usable. So you are always better showing off a fully game ready version that still looks great. Think about how your art will be used in a game and show context. For something like a substance ball or a 3D asset, Showing it in an environment will help the hiring manager to better understand the setting and the idea behind it. Descriptions are also going to be something you'll need to include with each piece. Make it clear which tools are used for modelling and if it's ready to be displayed in Unity or Unreal. Timeframes are also an important thing to include here. Give the hiring manager a clear idea of just how long the development process was for each piece. And bear in mind that a game-ready quality piece built in 2 weeks may be more appealing than something you worked on for a year. Studios love efficiency. Additionally, make sure you include wireframes and breakdowns of a model, as well as the original concepts you were working from. Studios will want to see the process of creating a piece, not just the final render. I now want to show you a couple of examples that may give you some inspiration. First, you can see the portfolio of Jake Lamb, who graduated in 2019. As you can see, he's using ArtStation, which means his work is clearly laid out and easy to digest. He also only has a small number of pieces, with his very best work being the first thing your eyes are drawn to. Jake is quite clearly aiming to be a character artist, with a hyper-realistic style. However, he has versatility to his portfolio. He's also included something a bit more stylised, as well as a couple of props, showcasing his texturing work and even a concept art piece. His descriptions are clear and include the software used as well as details such as the Polycan. This is the portfolio of Tyron Tazara, a 2020 graduate. He also only has a small number of pieces on his portfolio. However, he's really focused on presenting his work as part of a game environment. He has breakdowns of the different props and textures and even showcases his environment in video form, so that a hiring manager can see how it displays in a game engine. One thing you can take from both portfolios is that they present their work which is of a very high quality. They have looked at what artists in the industry are producing and have attempted to produce work which is at that level. This is exactly the kind of quality studios will be expecting to see. One final point to remember is that if you are looking for an individual portfolio review, then the team at Grads and Games are always available to provide further guidance and advice. Once you finish watching this video, you will unlock the opportunity to provide the team with a portfolio link, which we can then review. Additionally, you will unlock some amazing videos from artists themselves, providing their own personal tips for building a portfolio. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team anytime.